Picture this. You're in the middle of a storm. The wind howls, the rain pounds, lightning splits the sky, and everything around you is spiraling out of control. The chaos is overwhelming, the noise deafening, but right in the center, amidst the turmoil, there's a place of stillness, a pocket of absolute calm, a space untouched by the storm's fury. Can you feel it? Can you sense that unshakable core? That's the power I'm talking about. This kind of power isn't something you can see or touch. It doesn't need to shout or draw attention to itself. When you have it, it's like a secret strength that no one else can even imagine. Imagine moving through life with this inner stillness, a steadiness that can't be broken. You stay grounded, unshaken, no matter what happens around you. With this kind of calmness, even life's biggest challenges feel manageable. Problems seem smaller, solutions clearer, and your mind, sharp as a blade, focuses only on what truly matters. Today, we're going to explore why calmness is the ultimate superpower and how you can access it to transform every area of your life. Imagine approaching your work, your relationships, your dreams, and even your fears with a quiet confidence that's impossible to disrupt. Imagine a life where you move through challenges like a river flowing around rocks, strong and smooth, rather than being swept up in every current. That's the power of calm. Are you ready to unlock this strength within yourself? Ready to cultivate a calm so profound it becomes your greatest asset? Then let's dive in, because everything you need to be powerful, focused and resilient is already inside you, waiting for you to claim it. Chapter 1. Defining calmness as a superpower. So, what makes calmness powerful? Let's dive deeper. Think about every superhero story you know. There's often a moment when the hero is surrounded by chaos. Buildings are crumbling, people are screaming, and danger is everywhere. In that instant, the hero takes a deep breath, blocks out the noise, and focuses entirely on what needs to be done. That pause, that stillness, is what allows them to see clearly when others are paralyzed by fear or confusion. Calmness is that focus. It's that clarity in the middle of a storm. When we're calm, our minds are like still water, capable of reflecting everything around us without distortion. This clarity allows us to see solutions where others see only problems, to find opportunities hidden in challenges. Calmness gives us access to our best thinking, our most rational choices. It lets us respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. But let's clear up a common misconception. Being calm doesn't mean you don't feel things. You're still human. You still feel stress, excitement, fear, and frustration. Calmness doesn't make you detached or numb. It doesn't mean ignoring your emotions. Instead, it means you're grounded. You're present and aware, feeling those emotions without letting them control you. Imagine you're standing in a river. The current is strong, trying to pull you in different directions, but you're standing firmly, balanced. Calmness is like that steady stance. It's the ability to feel the rush of the water but not be swept away by it. It's resilience, the strength to stay balanced and steady, even when emotions surge and distractions come at you from all sides. When you're calm, stress, anxiety, or anger don't own you. They might pass through, but they don't have the power to dictate your actions or control your choices. This is a profound strength because, in a world that often pulls us in multiple directions, the ability to stay grounded and focused gives us control over our lives. When you can choose calmness, you can also choose how to act, how to respond, and how to carry yourself through any situation. Calmness isn't weakness or passivity. It's the quiet strength that keeps you anchored, capable of standing tall and clear-headed, no matter what comes your way. Now, that's real power. Chapter 2. The Physiology of Calm. Let's look at what happens to your body when you choose calmness. It's not just a mental shift, it's a full-body experience. Our bodies have two main states, the fight or flight mode and the rest and repair mode. When we're stressed, anxious or angry, we're in fight or flight. Our heart rate speeds up, our muscles tense, our breathing becomes shallow, and our bodies flood with adrenaline and cortisol, preparing us to face a perceived threat. While this response can be useful in a real emergency, being in fight or flight mode too often can drain us, weaken our immune system, and even make us more prone to illness. When we're calm, however, the opposite happens. Our body moves out of fight or flight and into a state called rest and repair. In this state, our heart rate slows down, our muscles relax, and our breathing deepens. This calmer state allows our body to recharge, our immune system to strengthen, and our mind to work at its best. When we're calm, our bodies release feel-good chemicals like serotonin and dopamine. These chemicals help reduce stress, boost our mood, and make us feel more balanced and content. Calmness also improves the way we think. When our body is relaxed, our brain works differently. In fight or flight mode, we're operating from our amygdala, the part of the brain that deals with fear and quick reactions. This can be useful when we're in immediate danger, but it's not ideal for making thoughtful decisions. When we're calm, we shift into our prefrontal cortex, the part of our brain responsible for higher-level thinking, like problem-solving, planning, and empathy. In other words, calmness lets us access our best, most creative thinking. Imagine having to make a big decision while feeling panicked or angry. It's easy to see how those emotions can cloud our judgment, making it harder to think clearly. But when we're calm, our mind is like a clear pool, allowing us to see all the options and choose the best one. This is why calmness makes us stronger, not just mentally, but physically as well. It's like having a toolkit for resilience and health right inside us, available whenever we need it. So, calmness doesn't just affect our mood or mindset, it's a full-body upgrade. It allows us to operate at our peak, making us more resilient, adaptable, and effective in everything we do. Chapter 3. Calmness in Action, Real-World Examples. To truly understand the power of calmness, let's look at how it shows up in real-world scenarios. Think about some of the most respected people in history, leaders, thinkers, creators, who faced incredible challenges and yet remained calm, clear-headed, and strong under pressure. Calmness was their ally, allowing them to act with courage and wisdom in moments when others might have crumbled. Consider firefighters or emergency responders. When they're called to a scene, they're often met with chaos, flames, smoke, fear. They don't panic or let adrenaline take over. Instead, they tap into a deep, practiced calm. Their training and experience help them focus on the task at hand, assess risks, and make critical decisions quickly and effectively. Without calmness, they wouldn't be able to perform their duties or keep themselves and others safe. Or think about an athlete preparing for a high-stakes moment, the final shot in a basketball game, the last lap of a marathon, or a crucial serve in a tennis match. They can feel the pressure of the crowd, the weight of expectation. But instead of letting those pressures overwhelm them, they cultivate calm. They take a deep breath, silence the noise, and become fully present in that moment. In this state, they're able to respond with precision and focus. They channel their energy constructively, using their calm to perform at their best. Even in business, calmness can make or break a leader. Picture a CEO facing a crisis, a major financial setback, a product failure, or a public relations disaster. In moments like these, it's easy to feel overwhelmed or react impulsively. However, effective leaders know the importance of staying calm. They approach the situation with a steady mind, making decisions based on rational thinking rather than fear or frustration. This calmness inspires confidence in their team, allowing everyone to approach the problem thoughtfully and work toward a solution without succumbing to panic. Calmness doesn't mean a lack of action. Rather, it's action taken with full awareness and focus. When we remain calm, we're better equipped to respond rather than react. We see the bigger picture, which allows us to find solutions rather than becoming fixated on problems. Calmness becomes a tool, helping us find clarity amidst chaos, wisdom in confusion, and strength in challenging situations. Think of calmness like the center of a hurricane, the eye of the storm. The winds may be raging all around, but in the center, there's stillness and peace. That's what calmness can offer us in any situation. It's a place where we can gather our strength, focus our thoughts, and move forward with purpose. So when we talk about calmness as a superpower, we're talking about the ability to find that still center, no matter what's going on around us. Calmness turns chaos into clarity, allowing us to perform at our best when it matters most. Whether you're navigating a personal challenge, a professional crisis, or even a life or death situation, calmness gives you the ability to stay strong, see clearly, and act with wisdom. That's why calmness is a superpower, and why learning to harness it can change the course of our lives. Chapter 4: The Science of Calmness and Power. Let's explore the science behind why calmness is so powerful. When we talk about calmness, we're not just speaking about a mental state. It's a full-body response that has deep roots in our biology. Understanding this connection can help us see why calmness isn't just a luxury. It's essential for optimal performance, health, and well-being. Our bodies are wired to respond to stress through what's known as the fight-or-flight response, a survival mechanism designed to help us react quickly to threats. When we feel stressed, our body releases hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. Our heart rate increases, our muscles tense, and we're prepared to either face the threat or run from it. This response was vital for our ancestors when they faced immediate physical threats like wild animals or other dangers. But in modern life, our stresses are often psychological: tight deadlines, financial worries, or relationship conflicts. When we're constantly in fight-or-flight mode, our bodies stay on high alert, which can lead to burnout, weakened immunity, and even chronic health conditions. Calmness, on the other hand, activates the body's rest and digest response, also known as the parasympathetic nervous system. This system is responsible for recovery, relaxation, and balance. When we're calm, our heart rate slows, our breathing becomes deeper, and our blood pressure stabilizes. In this state, our body can focus on long-term health functions like digestion, cellular repair, and immune response. Calmness literally allows our body to heal, recharge, and strengthen. In addition to physical benefits, calmness has profound effects on the brain. Studies have shown that when we practice calmness through techniques like mindfulness or deep breathing, our brain activity shifts from the amygdala, which processes fear and impulsive reactions, to the prefrontal cortex. This part of the brain is responsible for higher-level functions like critical thinking, planning, and decision-making. When we're calm, we're able to approach situations logically and thoughtfully, rather than being driven by stress or emotion. In other words, calmness allows us to access our smart brain, which is essential for making wise, informed choices. There's also a fascinating link between calmness and neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to rewire itself. When we practice calmness regularly, we're training our brains to respond more peacefully to stress over time. This makes us more resilient. The more we practice calmness, the easier it becomes to remain calm in challenging situations. In essence, calmness is like a mental muscle. The more we strengthen it, the more power we have to handle life's ups and downs with grace. Beyond the brain, calmness also impacts our body chemistry by promoting the release of feel-good hormones like serotonin and dopamine. These chemicals improve our mood, boost our sense of well-being, and help us feel more balanced. This is why calm people often report feeling happier, more centered, and more at peace. Calmness isn't just about avoiding stress. It's about actively creating a state of balance and fulfillment. Understanding the science behind calmness shows us that this isn't a passive state, but an active, beneficial one. When we choose calmness, we're choosing to put our body and mind into a state that supports our highest functioning. We're lowering our stress hormones, increasing our clarity, and giving our brain the environment it needs to grow and adapt positively. Calmness, then, is a superpower because it transforms our biology and mindset in ways that make us stronger, healthier, and more capable of handling life's challenges. In a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming, the science of calmness reminds us that we have the power to regulate ourselves. By understanding and harnessing this power, we can live healthier, more resilient lives, finding strength and clarity in moments where others might falter. Calmness is not just a mental choice, it's a physical transformation that empowers us to thrive. Chapter 5. Techniques to harness calmness. Now that we understand why calmness is powerful, let's explore how we can cultivate it. Calmness is a skill, one that can be learned and strengthened over time with practice. Here are some practical techniques to help you harness calmness in your daily life, enabling you to respond with clarity, patience, and inner strength, no matter the situation. Breathing techniques. One of the simplest and most effective ways to cultivate calmness is through conscious breathing. Our breath is directly linked to our nervous system, so by controlling it, we can influence our state of mind. Try this. When you feel stressed or overwhelmed, take a slow, deep breath in for a count of 4, hold it for a count of 4, and then exhale for a count of 4. This method, often called box breathing, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps to calm the body and mind. Even a few deep breaths can signal to your brain that you're safe, allowing your body to relax. Practicing deep breathing regularly can help train your body to shift into a calm state more easily over time. The power of the pause. When faced with a stressful situation, take a brief pause before reacting. This pause, however short, gives you a moment to ground yourself and observe what's happening before you respond. During this moment, remind yourself to respond, not react. Reacting is impulsive, often driven by stress or emotion, while responding is intentional and thoughtful. A pause can help you see the situation with fresh eyes, giving you a moment to collect yourself and choose a calm, focused response. Consider using a mental cue, like silently saying the word pause to yourself in moments of stress. This small habit can remind you to step back and approach the situation with a clear mind. Practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of bringing your awareness fully into the present moment, without judgment. When we're mindful, we become more aware of our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. This awareness allows us to notice stress and tension as they arise, giving us the chance to consciously choose calmness. To practice mindfulness, start by taking a few minutes each day to focus on your senses, what you see, hear, feel, and even smell. Simply observe your surroundings without getting lost in thoughts or judgments. Regular mindfulness practice trains your brain to remain present, making it easier to stay calm even in challenging situations. Visualization. Visualization is a powerful tool to help cultivate calmness, especially before facing a stressful situation. Before a big event or a moment that typically brings stress, close your eyes and visualize yourself staying calm and composed. Picture yourself breathing steadily, handling the situation with confidence, and responding thoughtfully. This mental rehearsal can reduce anxiety and prepare your mind and body to respond calmly when the time comes. Visualize a calm place in your mind, a beach, a forest, or even a peaceful room where you can mentally go when you need to ground yourself. This can become a helpful tool to bring yourself back to calm when stress arises. Practicing acceptance. Part of cultivating calmness is learning to accept things as they are, especially situations beyond our control. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or not caring. Rather, it's about recognizing what you can't change and letting go of the desire to control it. When we accept that some things are out of our hands, we release resistance, which can greatly reduce stress. To practice acceptance, remind yourself that life's uncertainties and challenges are normal and that you have the power to choose how you respond. Instead of reacting to events, focus on adapting. Acceptance is a form of resilience, allowing you to stay calm and resourceful when unexpected changes happen. Developing a daily calmness routine. Building a daily calmness routine, even if it's just a few minutes each day, can strengthen your calmness muscle. This might include meditation, journaling, or even a few quiet moments in the morning to set your intention for the day. A calmness routine helps anchor you, making it easier to carry a sense of peace and clarity into whatever the day brings. Consider trying a brief morning meditation where you focus on your breath, set a calm intention, or practice gratitude. Evening routines can also be helpful, allowing you to unwind and let go of the day's stresses. Practicing gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful way to cultivate calmness. When we focus on what we're grateful for, we shift our attention away from stresses and challenges, moving into a mindset of appreciation. Take a few moments each day to list 3 things you're grateful for. This simple practice rewires your brain to focus on the positive, which can create a deep sense of peace and contentment. Gratitude helps us stay grounded, reminding us of the things that bring joy and calm to our lives. It's a tool to refocus our minds, enabling us to face challenges with resilience and a sense of inner peace. Calmness isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we cultivate through these small daily practices. These techniques help us build a foundation of calmness that can support us in the face of any stress or challenge. With regular practice, calmness becomes more than just a momentary state. It becomes a core part of who we are, a resource we can rely on to navigate life with strength, clarity, and peace. When we make calmness a priority, we're investing in our well-being, our relationships, and our ability to handle whatever life brings our way. Chapter 6: The Power of Calmness in Relationships. Calmness isn't just a personal asset. It has a profound effect on the people around us. Think about the last time you were in a heated discussion or tense situation. How did it feel when someone responded with calmness? Likely it felt reassuring. Calmness brings a grounding energy into any interaction, making others feel safe, heard, and respected. In this way, calmness becomes a powerful tool for building strong, meaningful relationships. When we're calm, we can listen more deeply. Instead of reacting impulsively or letting emotions hijack our responses, calmness allows us to genuinely hear what the other person is saying. This kind of listening is rare and valuable. It's the kind that makes people feel understood. When someone feels truly listened to, they feel valued. They trust us more and feel more open to honest, constructive dialogue. Calmness creates the space for real connection. Calmness also helps us respond rather than react. In relationships, misunderstandings and conflicts are inevitable, but how we respond to them makes all the difference. When we're calm, we can pause before replying, choosing our words carefully and considering the other person's perspective. This not only prevents escalation, but also shows maturity and respect. A calm response can diffuse tension, allowing both people to feel safe and respected, even if they don't fully agree. It's this kind of approach that strengthens relationships, whether with friends, family, or colleagues. In high-stress situations, calmness can be a guiding force for others. For instance, if you're a leader in a workplace, your calmness sets the tone for your team. If you remain composed during a crisis, it signals to others that they can also stay focused and not give in to panic. This leadership through calmness not only boosts team morale, but also improves productivity, as people are able to think more clearly and work more efficiently. Calmness becomes contagious, spreading a sense of stability and trust within a group. In personal relationships, calmness can also help us set and maintain boundaries in a healthy way. When we're calm, we can express our needs, wants, and limits with clarity and kindness, reducing the chances of misunderstandings. Instead of reacting defensively or aggressively, we can communicate assertively, creating a space where our feelings are understood without harming others. Calmness helps us stay true to ourselves while respecting the feelings of others, leading to healthier, more balanced relationships. Calmness enables us to handle criticism and feedback with grace. When we're calm, we're less likely to take things personally or feel attacked. Instead, we can listen to feedback objectively, extracting valuable insights without letting our emotions cloud our judgment. This openness to feedback strengthens relationships because it shows maturity, humility, and a willingness to grow. Calmness fosters empathy. When we're calm, we're able to step into another person's shoes and consider their perspective without letting our own emotions interfere. This empathy deepens connections and allows us to approach every interaction with understanding and compassion. People are naturally drawn to calm, empathetic individuals because they feel accepted, supported, and safe. In a world that often encourages fast reactions and emotional responses, calmness becomes a gift we give not only to ourselves, but to everyone we interact with. It creates an atmosphere of trust, respect, and understanding. When we choose calmness in our relationships, we're choosing to bring our best selves to others, creating bonds that are more resilient, more fulfilling, and more authentic. Calmness isn't just a superpower, it's a foundation for trust, empathy, and connection. It's what allows us to approach others with patience, clarity, and compassion, making our relationships deeper, healthier, and more enriching. Calmness, then, becomes a bridge, a way to connect meaningfully with others in a world that often feels disconnected. And in those connections, we find a source of strength that enriches our lives on every level. Chapter 7. Calmness as a Path to Inner Strength. Calmness is often misunderstood as a lack of action or a passive state, but true calmness is an incredible source of inner strength. It's a steady foundation that empowers us to face life's challenges with resilience, wisdom, and clarity. Calmness isn't about suppressing or avoiding difficulties. Rather, it's a path that leads us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and gives us the courage to handle whatever comes our way. At its core, calmness is rooted in trust in ourselves and trust in the process of life. When we cultivate calmness, we're building a relationship with ourselves where we acknowledge our abilities, our resilience, and our capacity to grow. This self-trust is essential because life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable. Without a sense of calmness, we're more likely to react impulsively or let fear dictate our actions. With calmness, however, we create a space within us that is stable and centered, allowing us to navigate life with confidence and self-assurance. Calmness is also about self-acceptance. When we are calm, we're not at war with our emotions, flaws, or imperfections. We're able to see ourselves clearly, recognizing both our strengths and areas where we need to grow. This acceptance doesn't mean we stop improving. Rather, it provides a nurturing foundation from which real growth can happen. When we accept ourselves, we no longer need to prove our worth to others or seek validation. We become our own source of support, and this inner peace gives us a kind of strength that no external achievement or approval can provide. Imagine standing on a mountaintop during a storm. The winds are fierce, the sky is dark, and the ground shakes, but you have a steady footing. That's what calmness feels like inside. Even when life throws difficulties at us, our calmness allows us to remain grounded, focused, and unshaken. It's not that we don't feel fear or doubt. Those feelings may still arise, but we don't let them control us. Instead, we can acknowledge them, understand them, and choose our response from a place of wisdom and balance. Calmness gives us the ability to pause before we act. which is one of the most powerful abilities we can develop. In a moment of calm, we have the chance to reflect, to evaluate our options, and to make decisions that align with our values and long-term goals. Without calmness, we're more likely to make impulsive choices driven by temporary emotions. But when we can pause, even for a second, we give ourselves the gift of clarity. We're able to respond to life rather than react to it, and this is where true inner strength begins. Another remarkable aspect of calmness is its relationship with resilience. Resilience is often described as the ability to bounce back from challenges, to recover quickly from setbacks. Calmness enhances our resilience because it allows us to maintain perspective. When we're calm, we can view challenges objectively. Instead of seeing setbacks as failures or feeling overwhelmed by difficulties, we can see them as opportunities for growth and learning. Calmness helps us realize that challenges are part of the journey and that they don't define us. This perspective gives us the strength to keep going, even when the road is tough. Calmness also connects us to our inner wisdom. In moments of calm, we can hear our intuition more clearly. This intuition, or inner knowing, often gets drowned out by the noise of daily life and the rush of emotions. But in the quiet moments of calm, our intuition can rise to the surface, guiding us with insights and ideas that we may not have accessed otherwise. Calmness becomes a gateway to our inner guidance, helping us make choices that are aligned with our true selves. In a world that constantly encourages speed and action, calmness allows us to slow down and reconnect with what truly matters. It reminds us that strength isn't always loud or visible. Sometimes strength is quiet. It's the ability to remain patient, to keep faith, and to stay grounded, even when everything around us is uncertain. Calmness teaches us that we don't need to force outcomes or control every detail. Instead, we can approach life with a sense of flow, trusting that we have the resilience and wisdom to handle whatever arises. Calmness nurtures our capacity for gratitude and contentment. When we are calm, we're more aware of the present moment, and we can appreciate life's simple pleasures: a warm cup of tea, the sound of birds, the feeling of sun on our skin. This awareness enriches our lives, helping us find joy in small moments and maintain perspective on what's truly valuable. Calmness shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, creating a sense of abundance and fulfillment that strengthens us from the inside out. In times of crisis, calmness becomes our anchor. It's what allows us to be there for others, to think clearly, and to make decisions that are grounded in reason rather than fear. When we cultivate calmness, we become a source of strength, not only for ourselves, but also for those around us. People feel our steady presence, and it reassures them, creating a ripple effect of calmness and stability. Cultivating calmness is a lifelong journey, a practice we can return to again and again. It's something we can strengthen through habits like mindfulness, deep breathing, and reflection. Each time we choose calmness, we reinforce our inner strength, creating a foundation that supports us in every aspect of life. Calmness doesn't mean that we won't face challenges. It means we'll face them with a sense of peace, confidence, and clarity that comes from within. Calmness as a path to inner strength is about building a life rooted in balance, resilience, and self-trust. It's a path that allows us to approach each day with grace, to meet each challenge with courage, and to connect with others in a way that is authentic and compassionate. Calmness becomes the lens through which we view the world, transforming even the most difficult situations into opportunities for growth and learning. So, when we say calmness is our ultimate superpower, we're recognizing it as the quiet force that empowers us to live fully, to love deeply, and to move through life with purpose and peace. It's the strength that doesn't just help us survive storms, but helps us find beauty and meaning within them. Calmness is the inner strength that guides us home to ourselves, reminding us that no matter what happens, we have the power to remain grounded, resilient, and true to who we are. Chapter 8. Embracing calmness as a way of life. Calmness, once cultivated, becomes more than just a tool for handling stressful situations. It transforms into a way of life. Living calmly is about making deliberate choices that bring peace and clarity, even in a world that often feels chaotic and demanding. It's about embodying calmness so fully that it becomes a natural part of who we are, influencing everything we do and everyone we interact with. Embracing calmness as a way of life empowers us to move through the world with purpose, resilience, and an open heart. The journey to a life of calmness begins with awareness. In a world that frequently pushes us to go faster, achieve more, and do everything at once, it's easy to get swept up in the current. Choosing a life of calmness means becoming aware of how we spend our time, energy, and attention. It means recognizing when we're being driven by external pressures rather than our own values. By tuning into ourselves, we can notice when we're slipping into stress or distraction, giving us the opportunity to bring ourselves back to a state of calm. Living with calmness also involves setting boundaries. Calmness is not about denying life's demands, but about creating a balanced relationship with them. Boundaries protect our mental and emotional well-being, allowing us to focus on what truly matters. Setting boundaries might mean saying no to activities that drain us, making time for ourselves, or limiting how much we allow technology and social media to dictate our lives. Boundaries are not barriers. They are a means of safeguarding our calmness so that we can be fully present and engaged in what truly enriches our lives. Another pillar of a calm life is the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness brings our attention to the present moment, grounding us in the here and now. It's a powerful way to embrace calmness because it reminds us that we don't have to be consumed by regrets of the past or worries about the future. Through mindfulness, we learn to savor the simplicity of each moment: a warm cup of coffee, a deep breath, the sound of rain. These small moments, often overlooked in our busyness, become opportunities to experience peace. By focusing on the present, we find a profound sense of calmness that arises naturally, free from distractions. Embracing calmness as a lifestyle also means cultivating patience. We live in a world that prizes instant results, from quick fixes to immediate gratification. But calmness teaches us the value of patience, of trusting the process rather than rushing through it. Patience allows us to accept that some things take time, that growth and change don't happen overnight. It helps us let go of the need for immediate answers or resolutions and instead embrace the journey. By practicing patience, we become less reactive, more understanding, and ultimately more at peace with the pace of our own lives. A calm life is also deeply rooted in self-compassion. Calmness requires that we be kind to ourselves, accepting our limitations and forgiving ourselves when we stumble. It's easy to become our own harshest critic, especially in a society that often equates self-worth with productivity and perfection. But calmness invites us to let go of these expectations and treat ourselves with the same kindness we would offer a friend. Self-compassion reminds us that it's okay to rest, to slow down, and to prioritize our well-being without guilt. When we approach life with self-compassion, we create a foundation of calmness that isn't dependent on external achievements or validation. Living calmly also means building a life filled with gratitude. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already have, filling our hearts with appreciation rather than discontent. When we actively practice gratitude, we begin to see life's beauty in even the simplest things: a beautiful sunrise, the laughter of a friend, the quiet moments of solitude. This shift in perspective not only deepens our sense of fulfillment, but also reinforces our calmness. With gratitude, we learn to live in harmony with what we have, rather than constantly seeking more. Embracing calmness as a way of life also involves building a strong relationship with nature. Nature has a unique way of restoring our calmness, offering a space where we can disconnect from the stresses of modern life and reconnect with ourselves. Whether it's a walk in the woods, sitting by the ocean, or simply feeling the sunlight on our skin, nature provides a healing calm that grounds us. Making time to connect with nature reminds us of our place in the world, helping us feel both humbled and renewed. It's a reminder that calmness is not something we need to create. It's something we return to. Calmness as a way of life means cultivating meaningful connections. True calmness is not isolated or lonely. It's enriched by our relationships. When we embrace calmness, we approach our relationships with patience, empathy, and understanding. We learn to communicate openly and listen deeply, creating bonds built on trust and respect. Living calmly means we're not trying to control others or fix them. Instead, we accept them as they are, giving them space to grow and evolve. These relationships become a source of mutual calmness and support, strengthening both ourselves and those around us. Living with calmness doesn't mean that life will be free of challenges, stress, or hardship, but it means that no matter what comes our way, we have an inner compass guiding us toward peace and balance. It's a commitment to approach life's experiences with openness, to make choices that align with our values, and to let go of the need for constant control. Calmness becomes the foundation upon which we build our lives, a foundation that allows us to stand strong even when the winds of change and difficulty blow. In a world that often moves at a breakneck pace, embracing calmness as a way of life is a radical choice. It's a choice to prioritize peace over productivity, clarity over chaos, and presence over perfection. Calmness allows us to live with integrity, showing up fully for ourselves and others in each moment. It becomes a path to genuine happiness, resilience, and fulfillment. A path that doesn't lead us away from life's challenges, but helps us face them with courage and grace. A life of calmness is a life of purpose. It's about finding joy in the journey, learning to be comfortable in our own company, and developing a sense of trust in ourselves and the world around us. Embracing calmness is a commitment to live authentically, allowing us to experience the richness of life without being swept away by its demands. Calmness becomes our sanctuary, our source of strength, and our guiding light. As we embrace calmness as a way of life, we're not just choosing to live more peacefully. we're choosing to live more fully. Calmness is not just a state we achieve, but a path we walk, a path that leads us to a deeper understanding of ourselves, a stronger connection with others, and a more profound appreciation for the gift of life itself. Chapter 9. Cultivating Calmness. Daily, practical steps to build and sustain. Calm. Embracing calmness as a way of life is an inspiring goal, but how do we bring calmness into our everyday lives in a way that's practical and sustainable? Developing a calm mind and body requires consistency, intention, and self-awareness. While the journey to calmness is deeply personal, there are daily practices and habits that can guide us in nurturing this essential superpower. Here, we'll explore practical, actionable steps that you can start incorporating today to cultivate calmness in every area of your life. Start with small, mindful mornings. The way we start our day sets the tone for everything that follows. Instead of rushing through the morning or immediately checking your phone, try beginning with a few minutes of calm, mindful breathing or quiet reflection. Before getting out of bed, take a few deep breaths and set a positive intention for the day. This could be as simple as, "I will approach today with patience," or "I will bring calmness into every interaction." Create a morning routine that is calm and consistent, perhaps with small rituals that ground you, like stretching, journaling, or enjoying a quiet cup of tea. These small practices signal to your mind and body that calmness is a priority, making it easier to stay centered throughout the day. Embrace mindful breathing during stressful moments. Life will inevitably bring moments of stress, but our breath is a tool we can always rely on to return to calmness. When you feel stress or anxiety starting to build, pause and take a few deep, slow breaths. Breathe in deeply through your nose, filling your lungs, and exhale slowly, releasing any tension you feel. Just a few breaths can reset your nervous system, helping you move from the fight or flight response back to a state of calm. Consider setting reminders throughout your day to practice mindful breathing, especially during moments of transition, like before a meeting or a difficult conversation. This simple practice can help you reconnect with calmness no matter what's going on around you. Limit your digital distractions. In today's digital world, constant notifications and screen time can pull us away from calmness. Consider setting boundaries with technology to protect your peace. Start with small steps, like limiting how often you check your phone, scheduling tech-free times, or designating specific hours for social media. Another helpful habit is to turn off non-essential notifications. The fewer interruptions you experience, the more focused and centered you can remain. Reclaiming control over your digital life helps you cultivate a sense of calm and presence, giving your mind the space it needs to rest and recharge. Practice gratitude to cultivate a calm, positive mindset. Gratitude is a powerful way to bring calmness into your mindset by shifting your focus from stress to appreciation. Each day, make it a habit to reflect on a few things you're grateful for, either mentally or by writing them down. These can be big things, like the support of a loved one, or small things, like the warmth of the sun or a good meal. Practicing gratitude reframes your perspective, reminding you of the positives that exist even in challenging times. This helps you approach life with a sense of calm, knowing that there is always something to appreciate. Over time, Gratitude becomes a mental anchor, grounding you in calmness even when life feels overwhelming. Create a dedicated space for calm in your home. Your physical environment plays a significant role in your state of mind. Consider creating a space in your home dedicated to calmness, a small area where you can go to relax, reflect, and recharge. This could be a corner with a comfortable chair, a soft blanket, and maybe a few calming elements like candles, plants, or a journal. Having a peaceful space signals to your mind that calmness is available whenever you need it. Make it a habit to spend a few minutes in this space each day, even if it's just to sit quietly or reflect. Over time, this space can become a personal sanctuary, a place where you can instantly connect with calmness. Practice patience with yourself and others. Cultivating calmness requires patience, both with ourselves and with the people around us. Life is filled with frustrations and moments of waiting, whether it's being stuck in traffic, waiting in line, or dealing with difficult personalities. These situations are opportunities to practice calmness and patience. When you feel impatience bubbling up, take a deep breath and remind yourself that calmness is a choice. Try to approach each frustrating moment as a chance to practice staying calm and present. Patience is a skill that builds over time, and the more you practice it, the easier it becomes to stay centered in challenging situations. Incorporate physical movement for a calmer mind. Physical movement has a powerful impact on our mental state, helping release tension, reduce stress, and increase mental clarity. Daily movement, whether it's a walk outside, a yoga session, or even a few minutes of stretching, can be an essential practice for cultivating calmness. Exercise helps reduce cortisol, the body's stress hormone, while releasing endorphins, which enhance our mood and well-being. Try incorporating mindful movement into your day, moving with intention, and noticing how it affects your body and mind. Even small physical practices, like deep stretching or a short walk, can bring calmness to your body and mind, helping you feel more grounded. Set realistic expectations and embrace flexibility. Much of our stress comes from the expectations we set for ourselves and others. When we expect everything to go perfectly or exactly as planned, we set ourselves up for disappointment and frustration. Practicing calmness means allowing ourselves to embrace flexibility and let go of the need for perfection. Set realistic goals for yourself and try to release rigid expectations. Accept that life will have unexpected twists and turns. When things don't go as planned, take a deep breath and remind yourself that calmness comes from adaptability. Embracing flexibility allows you to handle life's challenges with grace, reducing stress and keeping you anchored in calmness. Reflect and release at the end of each day. At the end of the day, take a few minutes to reflect on what went well and what challenged your calmness. Reflection helps you become aware of your triggers and understand which habits support your calmness and which detract from it. Journaling can be especially helpful for this practice, allowing you to release your thoughts and emotions onto paper. End your reflection by letting go of any stress or tension you've accumulated throughout the day. Visualize yourself releasing any negative energy, clearing space for peace and calmness. This practice helps you enter the evening with a sense of closure and calm, ready to rest and recharge. Commit to consistency and self-compassion. Cultivating calmness is a lifelong journey. Some days will feel easier than others, And there will be times when stress and distractions make it hard to maintain your calm. Be patient with yourself and remember that every small step you take counts. Consistency is key, but so is self-compassion. When you slip up or lose your calm, forgive yourself and refocus rather than being critical. Calmness grows with practice, and each day gives you new opportunities to develop this superpower. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and trust that every effort you make to cultivate calmness strengthens your inner resilience and peace. By bringing these practices into your daily life, calmness can become a natural part of who you are. With each breath, each mindful moment, and each choice to remain present, you're building a foundation of calmness that will serve you in every aspect of your life. Calmness becomes not just a temporary feeling, but a way of being, an inner strength that guides you through every experience with grace, patience, and clarity. And with that, you discover that calmness is not just a state you enter, but a lifestyle you embody, bringing peace and resilience into every corner of your life. Chapter 10. The Ripple Effect of Calmness, Transforming the World Around You. Calmness doesn't just impact us personally. It has a powerful ripple effect that extends to the world around us. When we cultivate calmness within ourselves, it changes how we interact with others, how we respond to challenges, and even how we inspire those around us. Calmness is contagious, and its effects can spread from one person to entire communities, creating an atmosphere of stability, empathy, and resilience. Think about the last time you were around someone who radiated calmness. Perhaps it was a teacher who spoke gently, a friend who listened without judgment, or a colleague who remained composed during a crisis. Their calmness likely helped you feel more grounded, less stressed, and more capable of handling the situation. This is the ripple effect of calmness. When we carry calm energy, it influences others, encouraging them to slow down, think clearly, and act with intention. Imagine a world where more people practiced calmness. Imagine workplaces where leaders responded to pressure with poise, where teammates treated each other with respect, and where challenges were met with solutions rather than panic. In such an environment, people would feel safe to express themselves, to innovate, and to collaborate without fear of judgment or reactivity. Calmness creates a culture of trust, making it easier for people to share ideas and work together productively. When calmness becomes the foundation of a workplace, it enhances not only productivity, but also the well-being and satisfaction of everyone involved. In families and friendships, calmness is a gift that fosters deeper, more meaningful connections. When we bring calmness into our relationships, we become better listeners, more patient, and more empathetic. We're able to hold space for others, allowing them to share their experiences without fear of judgment or dismissal. This creates an environment where people feel valued and understood. Our calmness reassures them, making it easier for them to open up, to be vulnerable, and to share their true selves. Over time, this builds bonds of trust and respect that can withstand the inevitable challenges and conflicts that arise. Parents who practice calmness set a powerful example for their children. Children learn more from our actions than our words, and when they see us handle stress with composure, they absorb those lessons deeply. Calm parents teach their children resilience, patience, and the importance of approaching problems thoughtfully. In the long term, These children are more likely to grow up as adults who can face challenges with a level head and a calm heart. Calmness, in this way, becomes a legacy we pass down to future generations, shaping not only our own lives, but the lives of those who come after us. Calmness also has the power to transform communities. In times of crisis, whether natural disasters, social unrest, or community challenges, calmness can be a stabilizing force. Leaders who approach crises with a calm, steady presence instill hope and confidence in others. They remind us that challenges can be faced with resilience, that solutions are possible, and that panic is not the answer. When people come together with calm, focused energy, they're able to pool their resources, think creatively, and act in ways that benefit everyone. Calmness in times of crisis is a beacon of strength, guiding communities through dark moments and toward recovery and growth. Calmness in our interactions encourages more thoughtful, respectful conversations. In a world where people often react defensively or aggressively, calmness allows us to communicate in a way that fosters understanding rather than division. It gives us the ability to approach disagreements with an open mind and to listen to others with genuine curiosity rather than judgment. This kind of calm, open dialogue can bridge gaps, heal misunderstandings, and even resolve long-standing conflicts. When we're calm, we can hold space for differing perspectives without feeling threatened, creating a culture of respect and collaboration rather than hostility and division. Calmness also affects our relationship with the natural world. When we're calm, we're more attuned to the beauty and rhythms of nature. We slow down to notice the details, the sound of birds, the sway of trees, the warmth of the sun. This awareness deepens our appreciation for the environment and inspires us to take care of it. A calm mind is more likely to act sustainably, to make choices that respect the planet, and to advocate for positive change. When we connect with nature in a state of calmness, we're reminded of our place within the larger ecosystem, encouraging us to live in harmony with the world around us. Calmness even impacts global issues. Imagine how different the world might be if leaders approached international conflicts with calmness and respect. Negotiations driven by calmness foster mutual understanding and reduce the chances of escalation. In a calm environment, people are more willing to listen, to compromise, and to work towards solutions that benefit all parties. Calmness could lead to more peaceful resolutions, more compassionate policies, and a more connected world. Although this may seem idealistic, change starts with individuals, and the ripple effect of calmness begins with each of us. In the end, calmness isn't just a personal superpower, it's a social one. It's a tool for creating positive change, fostering connection, and building stronger, more resilient communities. Each act of calmness, each moment of patience, each thoughtful response contributes to a larger wave of peace and stability. The ripple effect of calmness can start with a single person and extend far beyond, reaching others in ways we may never fully see or understand. So, as we cultivate calmness within ourselves, we're not only transforming our own lives, but also impacting the lives of those around us. Calmness allows us to become a force of peace, a beacon of strength, and a source of inspiration. It's a reminder that real power doesn't always look like control or dominance. Sometimes real power is quiet and subtle, a calm presence that brings light to others, helps them feel seen and valued, and encourages them to be their best selves. When we choose calmness, we're choosing to contribute positively to the world, one moment at a time. In this way, calmness truly becomes a superpower, not just for our personal growth, but for the collective well-being of everyone we encounter. We each have the potential to create ripples of calmness, to uplift others, and to make the world a more peaceful, compassionate place. And when we do, we discover that calmness is not only powerful, but transformative, reaching far beyond ourselves to touch lives in ways we might never have imagined. Chapter 11. Embracing Calmness in a World of Noise. In today's world, calmness often feels like a rare commodity. We're surrounded by constant stimulation, buzzing notifications, endless news cycles, the pressure to be always on. It's easy to get caught up in this whirlwind, pulled in every direction by the demands of modern life. But in this noise and chaos, calmness becomes even more valuable. Embracing calmness in such a world is not only empowering, it's revolutionary. It's a choice to step out of the rush, to reclaim our inner peace, and to live with intention. The world we live in promotes speed, multitasking, and productivity at all costs. We're often told that to be successful, we need to be constantly striving, pushing ourselves, and staying ahead. But this constant drive can lead to burnout, stress, and a sense of disconnection. Calmness, on the other hand, offers an alternative, a way to move through life with clarity, focus, and balance. By embracing calmness, we're choosing to prioritize quality over quantity, depth over superficiality, and presence over mere productivity. In a world of noise, calmness allows us to tune in to what truly matters. It gives us the space to hear our own thoughts and values, rather than being overwhelmed by the opinions and expectations of others. When we're calm, we can separate the essential from the trivial, making choices that align with our true selves. Calmness gives us the courage to set boundaries, to say no to what doesn't serve us, and to invest our energy in things that genuinely fulfill us. It's a form of self-respect, a commitment to living life in a way that honors our mental and emotional well-being. Choosing calmness in a noisy world also helps us develop patience, an increasingly rare and valuable trait. In a culture that expects instant results and quick fixes, calmness reminds us that real growth and meaningful achievements take time. Whether we're working toward a personal goal, learning a new skill, or building a relationship, calmness teaches us to be patient with the process. It allows us to appreciate small steps and incremental progress rather than becoming frustrated or discouraged. Patience, born from calmness, is a quiet strength that allows us to stay committed and resilient, no matter how long the journey may be. Calmness enables us to cultivate a richer, more mindful experience of life. When we're calm, we're not rushing from one task to the next or obsessing over our to-do lists. Instead, we can savor the present moment, finding beauty in simple things, a conversation with a friend, a walk in nature, a quiet cup of tea. This mindfulness brings a sense of contentment and joy that can't be found in the endless pursuit of more. By choosing calmness, we're choosing to live fully, to experience life with open eyes and a grateful heart. Embracing calmness also changes how we view success. In a world that often measures success by external achievements, titles, possessions, or accolades, calmness teaches us to define success on our own terms. It encourages us to ask questions like, am I living in alignment with my values? Am I making a positive impact on those around me? Am I at peace with myself? Calmness shifts our focus from what others expect of us to what truly fulfills us. It redefines success as a state of inner peace, balance, and self-acceptance rather than a checklist of accomplishments. In our relationships, calmness helps us bring a genuine, authentic presence to our interactions. When we're calm, we're not distracted or preoccupied. We're fully engaged, listening and responding with empathy. This kind of presence is a rare gift in today's fast-paced world. It makes others feel valued, heard, and respected. Calmness allows us to build deeper connections where we can share our thoughts, our joys, and our struggles without the need for pretense or defense. Through calmness, we create spaces for honest and open communication, enriching our relationships and strengthening our bonds. In a world that often celebrates constant action, calmness offers the wisdom of reflection. It encourages us to step back and consider our lives, our choices, and our direction. Calmness invites us to regularly check in with ourselves, to ask if we're living in a way that aligns with our goals and values. This reflection helps us stay true to our path, making adjustments when necessary and avoiding the trap of mindless busyness. By cultivating calmness, we create a life that's intentional and purposeful, rooted in our deepest beliefs and aspirations. Calmness also gives us the courage to embrace uncertainty. In a world where we're often pressured to have everything figured out, calmness reminds us that it's okay to not have all the answers. Life is unpredictable, and calmness allows us to accept this reality with grace. It teaches us to approach uncertainty with curiosity rather than fear, to see it as an opportunity for growth rather than a threat. Calmness helps us let go of the need for control, making space for flexibility, adaptability, and openness to new experiences. Calmness in a noisy world brings us a sense of inner freedom. When we cultivate calmness, we're no longer driven by the noise around us. We're no longer caught up in the race for approval, achievement, or perfection. Instead, we're anchored in ourselves, free to pursue what truly brings us happiness and fulfillment. This freedom is liberating, allowing us to live life on our terms, guided by our inner compass rather than the demands and expectations of society. Embracing calmness in a world of noise isn't always easy. It requires intention, practice, and a willingness to go against the current. But the rewards are profound. A deeper connection with ourselves, more meaningful relationships, and a life of purpose and peace. Calmness becomes our refuge, a place we can return to whenever the noise becomes overwhelming. It's a source of strength, clarity, and courage that empowers us to navigate life with resilience and grace. In choosing calmness, we're choosing a life of balance, authenticity, and inner peace. We're choosing to be fully present, to appreciate each moment, and to move forward with intention and purpose. Calmness, then, isn't just a way to cope with the world. It's a way to transform it, beginning with ourselves. In a world of noise, calmness is a powerful, revolutionary act, an act of self-care, self-respect, and self-love. And by embracing it, we not only enrich our own lives, but also inspire others to find their own path to peace amidst the noise. Chapter 12. Calmness as a gateway to self-discovery. Calmness isn't just a tool for handling life's stresses. It's a gateway to understanding ourselves on a deeper level. When we embrace calmness, we create space to observe our thoughts, emotions, and reactions without judgment or hurry. This inner quiet allows us to connect with who we are at our core, beyond the roles we play, the responsibilities we carry, or the expectations we feel. Calmness, then, becomes a journey of self-discovery, an exploration of our authentic selves, our passions, and our purpose. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, we often lose touch with our inner voice. Our minds are crowded with to-do lists, responsibilities, and the expectations of others, leaving little room to understand what we truly want, what brings us joy, or what we need to feel fulfilled. Calmness helps us reconnect with this inner voice. It offers us a rare chance to slow down, reflect, and listen to what's happening within. In moments of calm, we can uncover insights about ourselves that we may have overlooked or ignored. One of the first things calmness reveals is the patterns of our thoughts and emotions. When we're calm, we're able to observe our mind objectively, noticing recurring thoughts, beliefs, and feelings without being swept away by them. We may discover that certain worries resurface frequently, or that certain self-critical thoughts appear in specific situations. By bringing these patterns into awareness, calmness empowers us to understand the forces driving our behavior. It enables us to recognize limiting beliefs, identify emotional triggers, and see how our past experiences influence our present. This awareness is the first step toward healing and growth, as it gives us the power to consciously choose new ways of thinking and responding. Calmness also helps us tap into our core values. In the noise of daily life, it's easy to lose sight of what's truly important to us. But in moments of stillness, we can reflect on what matters most, whether it's honesty, kindness, creativity, or personal growth. By reconnecting with our values, calmness clarifies our sense of purpose, guiding us to make decisions that are aligned with our true selves. It becomes easier to set boundaries, pursue meaningful goals, and make choices that bring us closer to a fulfilling life. Calmness, in this way, acts as a compass, pointing us toward a life that reflects our deepest values and aspirations. Through calmness, we can also reconnect with our passions and interests, the things that bring us joy and make us feel alive. When we're constantly busy, we may neglect the hobbies, activities, or pursuits that spark our creativity and curiosity. But when we embrace calmness, we have the chance to rediscover these passions. Whether it's painting, writing, exploring nature, or learning a new skill, calmness invites us to make time for activities that nourish our soul. This connection to our passions not only enriches our lives, but also fosters a sense of self-worth and personal fulfillment. Calmness gives us the courage to confront our fears and insecurities. In the quiet moments, we can examine what holds us back, what we're afraid to face, or what we avoid acknowledging. This process can be uncomfortable, as it requires us to be honest with ourselves, to look at our wounds and vulnerabilities. But it's through this honest reflection that we can begin to heal. Calmness provides a safe space to confront these fears, to accept them as part of our journey, and to work through them with compassion and patience. In facing our fears calmly, we realize that they don't define us, and we begin to understand the inner strength we possess to overcome them. Another dimension of self-discovery that calmness opens up is our intuition. In the noise of modern life, our intuition, the quiet, inner knowing that guides us, often goes unheard. Calmness reconnects us with this intuition, helping us make choices that resonate with our true selves. This inner guidance isn't based on logic or analysis. It's a feeling, a sense of rightness that arises from within. When we're calm, we're more in tune with this guidance, making decisions that feel aligned with our values and goals, rather than external pressures or fleeting emotions. This connection to our intuition is one of the most empowering aspects of self-discovery, as it enables us to trust ourselves and take steps toward our best life. Calmness also allows us to redefine our relationship with success. In a world that often equates success with material accomplishments, calmness invites us to ask, what does success mean to me? It gives us the freedom to create our own definition of success, one that aligns with our values, dreams, and vision for a meaningful life. For some, success may mean achieving career milestones. For others, it may mean spending quality time with loved ones, contributing to their community, or exploring personal growth. Through calmness, we can let go of society's definitions and instead pursue a life that truly resonates with our own definition of success. In the quiet space that calmness creates, we can also cultivate self-compassion. When we're calm, we can observe our flaws, mistakes, and shortcomings without judgment. We learn to accept ourselves as we are, embracing both our strengths and imperfections. This self-acceptance is liberating. It frees us from the pressure to be perfect and allows us to grow at our own pace. Calmness teaches us to be kind to ourselves, to forgive ourselves for past mistakes, and to approach each day with a sense of grace. This self-compassion is essential for self-discovery, as it encourages us to explore who we are without fear or shame. Finally, calmness opens us to the experience of gratitude. When we're calm, we become more aware of the beauty and abundance around us, the simple joys, the little moments of kindness, the people who support us. This sense of gratitude deepens our connection to life itself, helping us feel more grounded, content, and fulfilled. Gratitude becomes a lens through which we view the world, shifting our focus from what we lack to what we have. This perspective enriches our journey of self-discovery, reminding us of the blessings in our lives and the strength we already possess. In embracing calmness as a path to self-discovery, we embark on a journey to understand our true selves, our values, our passions, and our purpose. We begin to see that the answers we seek are not outside of us, but within. Calmness guides us inward, helping us uncover the layers of our identity and find clarity in our journey. As we cultivate calmness and embrace self-discovery, we become more authentic, resilient, and self-aware. We're able to live from a place of alignment, creating a life that reflects who we truly are rather than who we think we're supposed to be. In this way, calmness is not just a state of being, it's a path to self-discovery, a way to come home to ourselves, and a foundation for a life of purpose, meaning, and inner peace. Chapter 13. Calmness as the foundation for creativity and innovation. Calmness is often viewed as a state of relaxation or restfulness, but it is also one of the most powerful states for unlocking creativity and fostering innovation. In a world that rewards speed and constant productivity, the idea of slowing down to access calmness can seem counterintuitive. However, Some of the greatest creative breakthroughs and innovations in history have come from moments of calm and contemplation. When our minds are calm, they are free to explore new ideas, make connections, and approach problems from fresh perspectives. Calmness is not just an antidote to stress. It's a gateway to the kind of deep, imaginative thinking that leads to true creativity. Our minds function differently when we're calm. In a state of stress or urgency, our brain is primarily operating in survival mode, driven by the amygdala, which focuses on immediate action and problem solving. While this response is useful in high-stakes situations, it limits our capacity for expansive, creative thinking. When we're calm, however, the brain shifts into a state that supports openness and curiosity. The prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for higher-order thinking, imagination and planning, becomes more active, allowing us to think abstractly, dream big, and explore possibilities without restriction. Calmness creates a mental environment where ideas can flow freely. Imagine a still lake. When the water is calm, you can see all the way to the bottom, observing every detail. Our minds work similarly. When we're calm, our thoughts settle, and we gain a clearer view of our own creativity. We become more receptive to new ideas, unburdened by the mental clutter of stress and worry. Calmness gives us permission to wander, to think outside the box, and to consider ideas we might have dismissed in a more pressured state. It allows us to play with concepts and imagine scenarios without immediately seeking solutions or judging the outcome. Calmness fosters innovation by encouraging risk-taking and open-mindedness. When we're calm, we feel less pressured to get it right on the first try. We're more willing to experiment, to test ideas, and to embrace mistakes as part of the creative process. Calmness cultivates a sense of patience and curiosity, making it easier to explore ideas thoroughly and develop them fully. This approach is particularly valuable in fields that require innovation, whether in the arts, technology, science, or business. Many breakthroughs come not from a frantic search for solutions, but from a calm, curious exploration of what's possible. One of the key ways calmness boosts creativity is by connecting us to our intuition. Intuition, often described as a gut feeling or an inner knowing, is a powerful yet subtle guide in the creative process. When we're constantly busy or stressed, our intuition is often drowned out by the noise of our thoughts and responsibilities. Calmness, however, helps us tune into this inner guidance, allowing us to access insights that may not be immediately logical, but are nonetheless powerful. Many of history's most inventive minds, from scientists to artists, have spoken of moments when their best ideas emerged spontaneously, often during a quiet moment of reflection or relaxation. These moments of calm allow us to tap into a part of ourselves that operates beyond reason, bringing forth ideas that are fresh, unique, and often transformative. Calmness also enables us to sustain creativity over the long term. Creativity isn't just a burst of inspiration, it's a process that requires focus, resilience, and perseverance. When we're calm, we're better able to handle the challenges, frustrations, and setbacks that often accompany creative work. We can approach obstacles with a clear mind, finding solutions rather than becoming discouraged or frustrated. Calmness builds our capacity for creative stamina, the ability to stay engaged and motivated even when the work is difficult or the outcome uncertain. This resilience is essential for bringing big ideas to life, turning initial sparks of inspiration into fully realized projects. Calmness enhances our ability to collaborate creatively with others. Creativity doesn't always happen in isolation. It often emerges from the dynamic exchange of ideas within a group. When we're calm, we're more open to listening, more receptive to feedback, and more capable of seeing the value in others' perspectives. This openness fosters a collaborative spirit, making it easier to build on each other's ideas, refine concepts, and collectively arrive at innovative solutions. Calmness helps us set aside ego, creating a space where creativity can thrive as a shared experience rather than a competition. In a world where distraction is everywhere, calmness also helps us focus deeply, an essential skill for true creativity. Shallow, fragmented attention often leads to superficial ideas, while deep focus allows us to dive into the heart of a concept, to see connections and possibilities that might otherwise go unnoticed. Calmness creates the conditions for this kind of deep work. It minimizes distractions, allowing us to become fully absorbed in the creative process. When we're calm, we're more likely to enter a state of flow, a mental state in which we're fully immersed in an activity, losing track of time and self-consciousness. This flow state is where some of our most inspired and original ideas emerge. Even beyond traditional creative fields, calmness can enhance our ability to think creatively in everyday life. It helps us approach challenges in our personal and professional lives with a sense of curiosity and possibility. Instead of seeing problems as fixed or insurmountable, we become more willing to experiment, to consider alternative solutions, and to innovate in ways that improve our lives. Whether we're navigating a career shift, managing a team, or planning a personal project, calmness helps us see opportunities where others see obstacles, empowering us to create solutions that are imaginative and effective. Calmness transforms creativity from a sporadic event into a sustainable way of thinking and living. It allows us to embrace creativity as a journey rather than a destination, where each moment of calm becomes an opportunity for new ideas and discoveries. Calmness reminds us that creativity doesn't always come from pushing harder. Sometimes it comes from letting go, relaxing, and allowing ideas to arise naturally. In a world that prizes constant activity, calmness invites us to slow down, to reflect, and to nurture our inner creativity. It reminds us that true innovation comes not from rushing or forcing ideas, but from creating a space where inspiration can flow freely. When we embrace calmness as a foundation for creativity, we not only enhance our own potential, but also contribute to a culture of innovation, openness, and growth. Calmness, then, is not just a refuge from stress. It's a powerful catalyst for creativity and a path to original, groundbreaking ideas. By cultivating calmness, we unlock a wellspring of inspiration, allowing us to contribute more meaningfully to our work, our communities, and the world. Embracing calmness as a foundation for creativity transforms the way we approach problems, the way we think, and ultimately, the way we create. Chapter 14. The transformative power of calmness in decision-making. Calmness is not only a tool for reducing stress, it is a powerful asset in the process of decision-making. In life, the ability to make clear, thoughtful decisions can mean the difference between moving forward with confidence or feeling trapped by uncertainty and regret. Calmness helps us access a state of clarity, allowing us to approach decisions without being swayed by temporary emotions, external pressures, or fear of making mistakes. When we are calm, we can engage in a process of decision-making that is both wise and purposeful, leading to choices that align with our goals and values. In a calm state, our minds are clearer and more focused. We're not distracted by racing thoughts, nor are we influenced by stress or anxiety. This clarity helps us see the bigger picture, to understand the full context of the decision at hand. Often, when we are under pressure or feeling rushed, we focus only on the immediate issue, missing out on critical factors that could influence the outcome. Calmness creates space for us to consider all aspects of a decision, the short-term and long-term effects, the potential benefits and drawbacks, and how the choice aligns with our overall vision. This balanced perspective is invaluable, as it enables us to make decisions that are well-informed and carefully considered. Calmness also helps us tap into our intuition, which can be a powerful guide in decision-making. While logic and analysis are essential, some decisions benefit from our gut feeling or inner wisdom. Intuition is often subtle, overshadowed by louder thoughts or fears, but in a calm state, we can hear this quiet guidance more clearly. Our intuition often picks up on things we may not consciously realize, helping us sense when something feels off or when an option resonates deeply with us. Calmness helps us balance rational thinking with intuitive insight, giving us a fuller understanding of the choices before us. Calmness reduces the influence of emotions that can cloud our judgment. Emotions like fear, anger, excitement, or frustration can color our perception, making it difficult to evaluate options objectively. When we're calm, we're able to observe these emotions without letting them control us. We can acknowledge them, understand their origins, and set them aside as we focus on the facts. This doesn't mean ignoring our feelings, but rather ensuring that they don't overpower our decision-making process. Calmness brings a sense of emotional stability, allowing us to make decisions from a grounded place rather than reacting impulsively or defensively. Calmness also provides us with the patience to take our time when necessary. In a fast-paced world, we're often expected to make decisions quickly, but rushed decisions are not always wise. When we're calm, we can resist the pressure to act immediately and instead take the time we need to gather information, consider alternatives, and reflect on our options. This patience is especially valuable in complex or high-stakes situations where a hasty choice could lead to unintended consequences. Calmness reminds us that it's okay to slow down, to think things through, and to ensure that we're making the best possible choice. In situations where we must make decisions under pressure, calmness becomes a stabilizing force. Not all decisions come with the luxury of time, and some require us to act quickly. In these moments, calmness helps us manage the pressure without becoming overwhelmed. It allows us to stay focused, prioritize key factors, and make swift choices that are still thoughtful and intentional. Calmness sharpens our ability to concentrate on what truly matters, enabling us to navigate challenging decisions with confidence and composure. Calmness helps us take ownership of our decisions. When we make choices from a calm, reflective place, we're more likely to feel confident about them, even if they don't lead to the exact outcome we hoped for. Calmness fosters a sense of personal responsibility, reminding us that we have control over our actions and the courage to stand by our choices. This ownership is empowering. It helps us accept both the successes and challenges that come from our decisions without second-guessing or regret. Calmness also allows us to learn from our decisions. Not every choice will lead to a perfect outcome, but each decision offers valuable lessons. When we're calm, we can reflect on our decisions with an open mind, identifying what worked well and what we might do differently in the future. This reflection helps us grow, refining our decision-making skills over time. Calmness, therefore, turns each decision, whether a success or a setback, into an opportunity for personal growth and self-improvement. In our relationships, calmness supports collaborative decision-making. When making choices with others, whether in a family, team, or community setting, calmness allows us to communicate openly, listen to different perspectives, and find solutions that benefit everyone involved. It helps us stay focused on common goals rather than getting caught up in conflicts or ego-driven arguments. Calmness fosters a spirit of cooperation, enabling us to make decisions that respect and incorporate diverse viewpoints. Calmness also helps us distinguish between choices based on fear and those based on courage. Often, we're tempted to make safe decisions out of fear of failure, rejection, or discomfort. Calmness allows us to examine these fears without letting them control us. When we're calm, we can recognize when fear is guiding our decisions and choose instead to make courageous choices that align with our values and dreams. This courage doesn't mean being reckless. It means making choices that reflect our true selves, even when they involve risk or uncertainty. Calmness empowers us to be brave, to trust ourselves, and to make decisions that support our growth and fulfillment. Calmness enriches our ability to make decisions that align with our purpose and integrity. When we are calm, we have a stronger sense of who we are and what we stand for. This clarity allows us to make decisions that reflect our values, principles, and long-term vision. Calmness helps us stay true to ourselves, resisting the temptation to make choices based on societal expectations or external pressure. In this way, calmness becomes a foundation for living a life of authenticity, where each decision contributes to a path that feels meaningful and fulfilling. Calmness transforms decision-making from a stressful or overwhelming process into an empowering one. It allows us to make choices that are thoughtful, intentional, and aligned with our truest selves. By cultivating calmness, we gain the clarity, patience, and confidence to navigate life's decisions with wisdom and integrity. Calmness isn't just about finding peace in the moment. It's about building a life where each decision is made with purpose, presence, and self-respect. Choosing calmness as the foundation for our decision-making gives us a sense of freedom and confidence that's hard to achieve otherwise. It reminds us that, no matter what challenges arise, we have the inner resources to handle them thoughtfully and gracefully. Calmness empowers us to take control of our lives, one decision at a time, creating a future that reflects who we are and what we truly value. Chapter 15. Calmness as the key to building lasting resilience. Resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity, adapt to change, and continue forward despite challenges, is a crucial quality in today's world. While resilience is often associated with toughness and perseverance, its foundation is often misunderstood. True resilience doesn't come solely from pushing through difficulties. It also comes from a place of calm strength. Calmness is the inner anchor that enables us to weather storms with grace, courage, and the flexibility to learn and grow. When we cultivate calmness, we build a resilience that is not only sustainable but transformative, empowering us to thrive in the face of life's inevitable ups and downs. Calmness and resilience are deeply interconnected. When we're calm, we have a greater ability to assess situations objectively without being overwhelmed by fear, frustration, or anxiety. This clarity allows us to see challenges as they are, not as we might perceive them under stress. Instead of being paralyzed by problems, calmness gives us the perspective to approach them with curiosity and openness. We're better able to break down overwhelming challenges into manageable steps, making it easier to tackle one piece at a time. This calm perspective is the cornerstone of resilience, as it helps us face difficulties with a clear mind and a steady heart. Calmness also enables us to respond to setbacks in a constructive way. In moments of frustration or disappointment, our initial reaction might be to dwell on the negative or feel defeated. But when we cultivate calmness, we're able to pause, breathe, and shift our focus toward solutions rather than problems. This pause is powerful. It's a moment in which we regain control over our response, choosing resilience over resignation. Calmness helps us reframe setbacks as opportunities for growth, learning, and self-improvement. It empowers us to find meaning in challenges, seeing them as stepping stones that contribute to our strength and wisdom. Calmness strengthens resilience by helping us build emotional regulation. When we're calm, we're less likely to be swayed by intense emotions like anger, fear, or frustration. Instead, we can acknowledge these feelings, understand where they come from, and manage them without letting them control our actions. This ability to regulate our emotions is essential for resilience, as it allows us to respond to challenges thoughtfully rather than impulsively. By staying calm, we avoid reacting in ways that might create more problems, enabling us to face adversity with greater composure and effectiveness. Calmness also fosters resilience by promoting adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and resilience requires us to adjust to changing circumstances rather than resist them. Calmness helps us embrace change with a sense of ease, making it easier to pivot, rethink our plans, and adapt to new situations. When we're calm, we're more flexible and open-minded, willing to explore alternative approaches and consider different perspectives. This adaptability is a key aspect of resilience, as it enables us to stay grounded and proactive, even when things don't go as expected. One of the often overlooked aspects of resilience is the role of self-compassion, and calmness is a direct pathway to this inner kindness. When we're calm, we're more inclined to treat ourselves with patience and understanding, especially when we're facing challenges or setbacks. Instead of judging ourselves harshly or expecting perfection, we can acknowledge our efforts, accept our limitations, and give ourselves permission to try again. This self-compassion fuels resilience by creating a supportive inner environment where we can learn from our experiences without fear or shame. With calmness, we can see our struggles as part of the journey, embracing our imperfections as a natural part of growth. Calmness helps us maintain perspective, which is essential for resilience. In challenging moments, it's easy to feel as though our problems are insurmountable or that we're alone in our struggles. Calmness, however, reminds us to step back and see the bigger picture. It helps us remember that setbacks are temporary, that we've overcome difficulties before, and that we have the inner resources to navigate this moment as well. This perspective enables us to face challenges with a sense of hope and optimism, knowing that difficulties are part of the natural ebb and flow of life. Calmness grounds us in a sense of continuity, encouraging us to trust in our ability to move through adversity and come out stronger on the other side. Calmness also enhances our resilience by strengthening our relationships and support networks. Resilience is not a solo endeavor. It's often supported by the people around us. When we're calm, we're better able to communicate openly, express our needs, and reach out for support when we need it. This calm approach fosters trust, encouraging others to support us in meaningful ways. It also allows us to reciprocate, providing comfort and encouragement to those we care about. In times of difficulty, these connections become invaluable, as they remind us that we're not alone and that we can lean on others for strength and encouragement. Calmness builds a foundation of supportive relationships that in turn reinforce our resilience. Another way calmness contributes to resilience is by helping us manage stress. Chronic stress depletes our mental, emotional, and physical resources, making it harder to cope with challenges. Calmness, however, activates the body's relaxation response, reducing stress hormones and promoting a state of balance and recovery. This physiological calm strengthens our resilience by protecting us from burnout, allowing us to recover and recharge so that we're ready to face the next challenge with renewed energy. Calmness, then, becomes a buffer against the wear and tear of stress, preserving our capacity for resilience over the long term. Calmness supports resilience by fostering gratitude. In moments of calm, we're more likely to notice the positive aspects of our lives, the support we receive, the progress we've made, the small moments of joy. This gratitude helps us stay grounded, reminding us of the resources and strengths we already have. Gratitude shifts our focus from what's lacking to what's present, building a mindset that's resilient, hopeful, and appreciative. This gratitude-driven perspective reinforces resilience as it helps us see challenges as part of a larger, meaningful journey rather than isolated hardships. Calmness nurtures resilience by instilling a sense of inner peace. At the heart of resilience is the ability to face adversity without losing our sense of self or purpose. Calmness allows us to cultivate this inner peace, helping us stay connected to our values and principles even in challenging times. When we're calm, we can approach difficulties from a place of groundedness, staying true to our beliefs and goals no matter what obstacles arise. This inner peace is a profound source of resilience, as it gives us the strength to endure hardships while remaining aligned with our authentic selves. Calmness transforms resilience from mere endurance into a powerful, life-affirming quality. It enables us to face life's challenges with grace, to learn from adversity, and to emerge stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Calmness doesn't eliminate hardship. It empowers us to navigate it with courage and clarity. By cultivating calmness, we build a resilience that is flexible, adaptable, and enduring, allowing us to thrive in both good times and bad. Choosing calmness as the foundation for resilience means creating a life where challenges become opportunities for growth, where setbacks fuel our determination, and where adversity reveals our inner strength. Calmness is the wellspring of a resilience that is not only sustainable, but transformative. A resilience that empowers us to face life with an open heart, a clear mind, and an unwavering spirit. In calmness, we discover the unshakable resilience that lies within us, ready to guide us through every storm and help us build a life of purpose, meaning, and inner peace. Chapter 16. Calmness as a pathway to emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, the ability to understand, manage, and use our emotions effectively, has become one of the most essential skills for personal growth, successful relationships, and overall well-being. It's what allows us to navigate the complexities of our inner world and to interact harmoniously with others. Calmness serves as a gateway to developing emotional intelligence, giving us the mental space, self-awareness, and empathy necessary to understand both our own emotions and those of others. By cultivating calmness, we lay the foundation for emotional intelligence, transforming how we perceive, process, and respond to our emotional experiences. At the core of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. To manage our emotions effectively, we must first be able to recognize them. Calmness allows us to pause and observe our feelings without being overwhelmed by them. When we're calm, we can name our emotions, whether they're anger, joy, sadness, or fear, without judgment. This self-awareness helps us understand the root of our feelings, identifying the triggers and patterns that may otherwise remain hidden. Calmness is the lens that brings our emotions into focus, helping us understand what's happening beneath the surface. Beyond self-awareness, calmness also enhances self-regulation, another critical component of emotional intelligence. Self-regulation is the ability to manage our emotional responses in a way that aligns with our values and goals. When we're calm, we have greater control over our reactions, allowing us to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. For instance, if someone says something that frustrates us, calmness gives us the space to pause, reflect, and choose a response that aligns with who we want to be. Instead of letting our emotions dictate our actions, we can steer them constructively, expressing our feelings in a balanced and effective way. Calmness also cultivates empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. When we're calm, we're more attuned to the emotions of those around us. We can listen without judgment, hold space for others' experiences, and put ourselves in their shoes. This empathy deepens our connections, allowing us to build relationships based on trust, respect, and mutual understanding. Calmness encourages us to approach others with an open heart, free from the distractions of our own emotional noise. This attentiveness is key to fostering meaningful connections and developing the social awareness that forms the foundation of emotional intelligence. One of the most transformative aspects of calmness is that it teaches us to respond to emotions, our own and others, with compassion. Calmness allows us to accept our emotions without criticism or judgment, fostering an inner environment where we feel safe to be ourselves. This self-compassion extends naturally to others, helping us approach them with understanding and kindness, even when they're going through difficult times. This compassionate perspective is essential for building emotional intelligence, as it allows us to create supportive, non-judgmental relationships where people feel valued and understood. Calmness also enhances our ability to communicate our emotions effectively. Expressing our feelings in a way that others can understand is a key part of emotional intelligence. When we're calm, we're better able to articulate our thoughts and emotions clearly without the influence of anger, frustration, or defensiveness. Calmness helps us find the right words, ensuring that our messages are delivered with clarity and respect. This clear communication fosters understanding, allowing us to navigate conflicts, express needs, and build stronger relationships. Calmness gives us the patience to handle difficult emotions with resilience. Not all emotions are easy to manage. Feelings like grief, jealousy, shame, and disappointment can be particularly challenging. Calmness helps us face these emotions without running from them or suppressing them. Instead, we can sit with our discomfort, explore the source of these feelings, and gradually work through them. This patience with ourselves is a vital part of emotional intelligence, as it allows us to process emotions in a healthy way, turning difficult experiences into opportunities for growth and healing. Calmness teaches us the art of non-reactivity, an essential skill for emotional intelligence. Non-reactivity is the ability to observe our emotions without immediately acting on them. When we're calm, we can step back from our feelings, giving us a broader perspective. We learn to see our emotions as temporary states rather than defining aspects of our identity. This detachment helps us avoid over-identifying with our emotions or letting them dictate our actions. Instead, we can view them as signals, guiding us toward greater self-understanding and growth. Non-reactivity doesn't mean suppressing emotions. It means creating enough space to choose our response wisely. In addition to enhancing our individual emotional intelligence, calmness also supports collective emotional intelligence within groups and teams. When we bring a calm presence to our interactions, we contribute to an environment where others feel safe to express themselves and share their thoughts. This creates a culture of openness and respect, where everyone's emotions are acknowledged and validated. In a calm environment, people are more likely to communicate honestly, collaborate effectively, and resolve conflicts peacefully. Calmness fosters a sense of shared emotional intelligence, strengthening the bonds that connect us to one another. Calmness also improves our ability to manage stress, a critical aspect of emotional intelligence. Emotions often become amplified under stress, making it harder to think clearly or respond calmly. By cultivating calmness, we reduce the intensity of stress responses, allowing us to approach challenges with a level head. This stress management not only improves our own emotional well-being, but also impacts those around us. When we're calm in the face of stress, we set an example for others, demonstrating that it's possible to remain composed and focused even in difficult situations. This calm resilience is a powerful skill, helping us navigate life's challenges with emotional stability. Calmness encourages emotional flexibility, the ability to shift our perspective and adapt to changing emotional states. Emotional intelligence requires us to be adaptable, as different situations may call for different emotional responses. Calmness gives us the flexibility to shift gears, to let go of emotions that no longer serve us, and to embrace new ways of feeling and thinking. This adaptability is essential for personal growth, as it allows us to navigate a range of experiences without becoming stuck in one emotional state. Calmness nurtures a deep sense of self-respect and integrity. When we approach our emotions with calmness, we respect ourselves enough to honor our feelings without letting them control us. This sense of inner respect empowers us to set healthy boundaries, make decisions that align with our values, and uphold our personal principles. Emotional intelligence is not just about understanding and managing emotions. It's about living with integrity, staying true to ourselves, and acting in ways that reflect our highest ideals. Calmness reinforces this integrity, helping us stay aligned with who we truly are. In sum, calmness is the bedrock of emotional intelligence. It gives us the tools to understand ourselves, to connect authentically with others, and to respond to life's emotional complexities with wisdom and compassion. By embracing calmness, we unlock the full potential of our emotional intelligence, transforming not only our inner world, but also our relationships and interactions. Choosing calmness as the foundation for emotional intelligence is a journey toward a richer, more fulfilling life. It empowers us to face each day with clarity, empathy, and resilience, navigating the highs and lows with a steady heart. Calmness is the key that unlocks our capacity for self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, and meaningful connection. In cultivating calmness, we cultivate a way of being that allows us to live more deeply, more authentically, and more compassionately with ourselves and others. Calmness is often seen as a state of rest, a pause in the storm. But as we've journeyed through this exploration, it's clear that calmness is much more. It's a profound source of strength, clarity, and purpose. Calmness is not passive, it's powerful. It's a superpower that allows us to rise above stress, to see clearly in the midst of confusion, and to remain grounded and resilient no matter what life brings our way. When we embrace calmness, we step into a state of heightened awareness and intentionality. We begin to understand our emotions and thoughts, gaining the self-awareness needed to make choices that align with our values. Calmness fosters resilience, helping us face adversity with grace and flexibility. It enhances our relationships, allowing us to connect with empathy, communicate with clarity, and create environments of mutual respect and understanding. In a world that's constantly moving, calmness invites us to slow down, to savor the present, and to find joy in simple moments. It becomes a foundation for creativity and innovation, allowing us to think deeply, to connect with our intuition, and to approach challenges with a fresh perspective. Calmness empowers us to make wise decisions, balancing rationality with intuition, and ultimately living a life that reflects our true selves. This journey toward calmness is a commitment to ourselves, a choice to live with authenticity, to honor our mental and emotional well-being, and to cultivate a sense of inner peace that withstands life's ebbs and flows. Calmness is not a destination. It's a way of being, a way of moving through life with purpose, resilience, and grace. As you embrace calmness, remember that this superpower grows stronger with practice. Each moment you choose calmness, you're building a life that's rooted in strength, clarity, and balance. You're creating a foundation of emotional intelligence, resilience, and self-awareness that will serve you in every aspect of life. In choosing calmness, you're not only transforming yourself, but also creating a ripple effect of peace and positivity in the world around you. Let calmness be your compass, your guide, and your superpower. Trust in its quiet strength and let it lead you to a life of fulfillment, purpose, and inner peace. Calmness is your power, your refuge, and your path to a deeper, more connected life. Embrace it fully and watch as it transforms everything around you.